if aliens invaded Earth and was like, somebody got to spit a 16, and if it ain't fire, we turning all y'all to dust, I think we got to nominate Black Thought. And that's definitely not a proper intro, but that's what I'm going with. Let's get into the album.
Prisoners of Azkaban, thinking of a master plan. Images of grandeur by Jamel Shabazz, Dapper Dan. Clap your hands whether you in Patterson or Pakistan.
I like this 6-syllable rhyme scheme.
Boy that grew into a blacker man. My dignitary consigliere is Norvadine. My skin tone is aubergine. I'm a war machine.
Oh, Black Thought can rap, man. He getting into the syllables. I like that last dignitary, visionary rhyme scheme that he had, pulling off a little 4-syllable rhyme scheme, and he used as part of the M rhyme, and then had a different M rhyme in the second bar. Y'all keep up, keep up. My Bible imagery.
Don't see the damage. Guess I'm gonna need a bandage if we plan to be companions. Some shots that intertwine like a violet vine. I threw the rhyme book straight into the fire this time. I'm thinking.
Hey, that's a really tough opener. I love those triumphant strings, and Deja Mouse found like the souliest soul sample on the planet for that beat. That dude was in the background humming straight pain, like 12 Years a Slave type pain. And I thought it really played into the lyrics of the song, with Black Thought leaning into race relations. That line with home team advantage, most people don't see the damage. That line really stuck out to me, and initially I was taking that to mean like white privilege and being in a majority group in America. But as he got further and further into his verse, I kind of see him talking about himself, like going through an internal struggle of blacks being disadvantaged and speaking about that. But also he's able to navigate some of that because of his wealth. He talked about feeling like a hypocrite. He talked about throwing away his rhyme book. So really thought-provoking and opener. Great lyrics, great beat. Let's get into Cheat Codes, the title track. Bro, running from soul to these tribal drums. This dude is different. Hey, I will say, speaking of cheat codes, when he say 215 before he spit, that's a cheat code.
Cheat code, playing with unlimited free throws, playing price, gamble with your life like Pete Rose.
That's a tough line.
Like who got the streets of Philly flooded like Puerto Rico's? You get McNabb like Donovan, it's Finitos. Theologians point to the trap house that got us in.
He is barring out the gamble with your life like Pete Rose, flooded out like Puerto Rico, a little political jab in there. And then the subtle little wordplay when he's talking about getting nabbed. He said it McNabb playing back into when he was talking about Philadelphia. McNabb played for the Eagles. Come on, bro.
Take his name in vain like a phlebotomist. I'm the one that knows what time it is. Never been innocent. It's real when you done lost your last feeling. Jumped and bounced back off the glass ceiling. Back to stealing, to Xanax and smack dealing. That's appealing, but grab the kids and shield them.
I love where he's going with this verse.
The mantra is managed, not the faint. When shit ain't for the faint of heart. The rate, get the cheat code to get recode. Nigga, bad credit, get your shit repo. Listen.
That song is tough, man. This production has been so out of the box in the first two songs. The tribal drums, I like the triumphant horns that crept in, vocals that crept in. I love the beat from start to finish. Black Thought's content here was talking about how easy it is for people to get stuck into hustler, illegal street type lifestyle because of all the obstacles when you growing up in the hood. And if I'm following the verse correctly, he's saying cheat codes is the hustling, like hustling is a cheat code to get out of that environment. I think it's really thought-provoking, especially because I've had this conversation a lot, that it's easy to stand on the outside and judge people for taking up a particular lifestyle. But once you're in it, you see people are destined for that. And I think that's a clever way to incorporate this name title. It plays into the first song really well. And if this is the direction that this album is going to take, I think that's really intriguing. Let's get into this next song, The Darkest Part, with Raekwon. This has a real like 70s vibe, kind of like Blues Club vibes, because how the vocals are playing off on the keys.
Dressed in camo, the grenades, guns, and ammo. Left the sample, send them a bouquet and a candle. I came to take back that other 2/5 of a man's soul from a silhouette.
I think he's getting some child rebel soldier imagery, but that's taking back 2/5 of a man's soul. I think that's definitely a specific reference to like black on black crime, but that's a real subtle, clever way to do it.
Premonition and intuition is a bitch. Got a message from the heavens, all it said is to resist. Keep it brief like an elevator pitch. A delegated switch, cause the spirit is a snitch in America. The rich love to wear it on their wrist. They calling shots, they don't wear it on their hip. Jiggling of the chains, I can still hear it.
They calling shots, they don't wear it on their hip. I think that can have two meanings, kind of literal and a figurative sense, like politicians aren't the ones who are going to war. They call the shots, they send people off to war, but they're not the ones fighting in wars. But also it's the people who are policing inner cities, they're not the ones who grow up in that environment. They're not the ones who come from that environment. The people who judge people who come from those environments, never been there. That's tough.
The deeper the breath, the louder the scream. I cower between the two monsters out of my dream. A Cadillac, a limousine, the anti-nigga machine. And if I wake up alive, I bet they won't come clean. Teens better than ever with morphine or methadone. They force feed their fears into our flesh and bone.
That's a dope verse. I think really good conscious rapping has this ability to loop what they're giving a critique on, but simultaneously applying it to themselves and to the listener. I love how he kind of diagnosed the problem with his first verse, and then on that second verse he was talking about his own internal struggle with, in his case, it was more so materialism and sedation. We were talking about, the drugs, the opioid epidemic. So that's good writing in my opinion.
Boy grown, hands like Roy Jones, King Tut bracelet on, encrusted, flooded in stones, bro. Artists in the sharpest, merge like 3-bedroom apartments. Pick one room, they all room. Let me start this. My art retarded kids, the arsonists and ostrich. The
I love this rhyme scheme. Oh, that's another tough song, man. I'm really impressed with Danger Mouse's production in these first 3 songs. As much as I listen to minimalism in my daily rotation, it's great hearing maximalism. I love the keys. I also love those guitar licks, and both of those played well into the vocals by Kid's sister. And I thought they matched the aesthetic of the song perfectly. I touched on Black Thought's verses. Those are really good, thought-provoking verses. Raekwon's verse was good. He touched on so far what the themes of the albums are: materialism and growing up in a rough environment. I don't think it was as succinct as Black Thought's verses, but technically speaking, he got into a lot of real clever rhyme schemes. My biggest issue with Ray's verse is why it sound like that. Why do they mix it like that? It sounds like one of them verses where the nigga locked up and they record the verse through the jail phone. Either that or he recorded his verse on a flip phone. But yeah, good verse. This is No Gold Teeth. Those keys sound like Purple by Nas was about to play. Or this don't sound like Purple by Nas at all now. The sequencing is done really intentional, at least on Danger Mouse's perspective, because in each of the songs he used one of the main instruments of the previous songs. Like sometimes the Chicos had horns. Now Darkest Path to Gold Teeth has this like groovy guitar. They sound different, but that makes the album sound more cohesive.
Wind at my face, hand at my heels. At the end I'm winning this race. Only thinking I chill with children. Don't ever try to stagnate the magnate. With this money on the line, never make the bag wait.
Yo, that beat right there is tough.
In the first place, I got no motherfucking business coming in last place. My birthplace taught me not to stop. I'm more advanced than my classmates. I came into the game on a fast break and I'm gang like.
That's tough. He uses this common theme of running and racing, fast break, running. He used a couple of other words in there too that add that theme.
If I don't work, then I won't eat. Time keeps running like a river, it don't cease. In the mind of a super nigga, it's no peace. Can't stop running like I'm ducking from police. Stop. Coolie how they try and do me like Cochise. The flow so obese, it's springing a slow leak. You ain't fucking with no amateurs, homie. Philly ain't known for cheesesteak sandwiches only.
That's fire.
I'm at the top where it's lonely. I got everybody mean mugging like Nick Nolte, but nah, phone, praise the Lord. Anybody disagree with me, then rage your sword. I'm aging.
Yeah, still very impressed by the production. I really appreciate great conceptual writing and the intricacies that Black Thought's displaying right here. Thematically, this verse was really split up into 2 parts. The first half of the verse was talking about chasing money, wealth, success, and then that second half was about maintaining wealth and success. But I like how he highlights this with his choice of words, where in that first half he was talking about running. Like there was running themes and imagery throughout that first half of the verse. Then he like literally said the word stop, and after that he said he wasn't going to stop. But after the point where he said stop, the whole verse changed themes to where he was talking about maintaining wealth. It can move to violence, both in the literal sense and in the figurative sense. Like he was talking about picking up guns to protect his wealth, and then he was talking about protect his status in the rap game, like want to take up a sword, where he wasn't necessarily talking literal. But yeah, just the craftiness, the creativity is fire in my opinion. Then the multi-syllabic rapping, still on point. This is because with Joey Badass, Russ, Dylan Cartledge, this was one of the singles. It's a groovy beat.
I'm from with too many lives, 25 years or fewer. Nothing we receive is brand new, it's just newer. While broken spirits, some assembly required. It confirmed the door of no return at Elmira.
I like that line, broken spirit, some assembly required.
We never won awards, we was wards of the court, putting swords to umbilical cords to cut them short. Translation, vacation is in the last resort.
I think a lot of his stuff has had double meanings, and that sword to an umbilical cord. That was a loaded bar right there. I say it was a loaded bar because that seems like it has some kind of reference to abortion, but I think what he's really saying is cutting life short.
You'll get to it what Mr. Womack would tell me. I was locked by Sully Red nigga Low Machiavelli. Listen, as mean as I seen everything that's under the sun. Niggas below the poverty line live under the gun. We all scheming, savages ain't vegan. What the fuck?
Below the poverty line, under the gun. I like that little word play. Being under one is synonymous with being under the other.
We all scheming, savages ain't vegan. What the fuck is love? Don't need a reason to die. We die just because.
Man, I thought the first verse was great, but that second verse is even better. He pretty much took an outside perspective and was rapping under the perspective of someone who was locked up and reflecting on kind of what got him in that position. And it ties right into the themes on the other four songs with, you know, people pushed to that point because of poverty, because the system failing them. But man, some very thought-provoking standout lines with the savages ain't vegan, the we don't need a reason to die, we die just because. Whew, that's a tough bar, and I like when bars play into the title of the track, especially when they don't explicitly say the name of the track in like the chorus.
Before I had the Nina, I had to snap back with the Tisa. Practicing my ollie, I could hardly get my feet up. Had to hit the stick on me. It's why I had to move raunchy. I know killers in Marcy, so please don't taunt me. Papa said to move cautiously, so the streets will never bother me, but you don't know that part of me.
I think so far Black Thought has the best two verses on the track, but his imagery is really dope on there. He stuck to the theme as well, talking about the environment he grew up in, contrasting to the lifestyle that he has now. But yeah, tough verse. Let's see what Russ got.
My girl told me I should watch my tongue. My skin gets red too easy. She don't want to change the name like Washington. It's feeling futile. Sometimes I move without scruples, like having Mrs. Perfect with me and still chasing approval from other with the tension in the air is still crisp. Sometimes I wish this game was over like I'm Lil Flip. Sometimes I'm wishing that my brain came with a kill switch. I don't vacation, dog. I guilt trip.
That's a good line, though, the little flip one. All right, that's a good verse from Russ. I'm not a Russ fan at all, but yeah, he was super solid right there. I think he definitely stuck with the theme. He didn't have as technically sound rapping as Joey Badass or Black Thought. Black Thought, who's just an alien, and ain't too many people matching him bar for bar. We kind of stuck with a little 3-syllable for most of his verse. He had that one landmine with the Washington bar, but other than that, every single bar was good. He had a charismatic verse in my sense, because I like how he emphasized the nonchalantness of growing up in a hectic, chaotic environment with dealing what he was dealing with his parents, and that driving him towards that street lifestyle and just being desensitized to everything around him. That said, Black Thought had the best two verses on the song. Joey Badass had the third best verse. Russ had the fourth best verse. I thought all three guys came with it. Let's get into Belize with MF Doom. This bass line is crazy. Little arpeggiating keys in the background. This beat is tough. Where are these horns coming from? Yo, this nigga is a maniac. Danger Mouse is different.
Yo, I'm sick, no lymph nodes is swollen. They told me even when the record skip, keep it rolling on the shoulder like a California highway patrolman. Launch codes were stolen and sold by Ed Snowden. I fled to Rome and told him address me as a Roman.
Bro, almost every single bar that he's spitting, almost every single syllable that he's spitting is part of a rhyme scheme right now. That's tough to do, and he still is packing everything with so much content. This nigga is different. I be trying to tell y'all. He the nigga who gonna save us from these aliens.
A thumping kicker for me to slam like Hulk Hogan is something like a plain bumper sticker, no slogan. This something for the shooter.
So like a plain bumper sticker, no slogan.
Fuck a thick skin, I got me an exoskeleton. The black collar feral and a lobster. Deliver like an obstetrician, but not a doctor.
That exoskeleton line plays into the lobster line. I want to be listening to Jordan Peterson, because Jordan Peterson be talking about that lobster stuff too. Now that I brought up a reference, now I got to explain it. But Jordan Peterson be talking about how lobsters, male lobsters, always are ready for conflict, and like dudes should be ready for conflict at all times. So that's Potential reference could be a reach.
Bring the Cambridge, the Websters, the Oxfords, the picture too long to watch. See the synopsis. Compensated for playing nice, it's optics. Product of the last poets and the watch prophets.
He got some real subtle wordplay going on with this watch scheme that he has going on. The optics, looking at watching. He's used the word watch a couple of different times with a couple of different meanings.
Doom get rude with the dude off chips. The mood switch, he chewed off strips of a brood witch.
It's dope. It's dope. Let's go. Let's go. All right, keep it together. Keep it together.
Doom get rude with the dude off chips. The mood switch, he chewed off strips of a brood witch.
Bro, Doom be rapping like he invented multi-syllable rapping. Bro, I think every single syllable in that last line rhymed with something.
Danger make a groove off a glitch. Major boo booty twitch and the crew rich bitch. Enough to have the game trapped and bound. Scratching the crown with the names of lames who yap the noun.
So man, I always enjoyed rap since I was in like elementary school, but when I got into late middle school, early high school, I started getting an underground rap and became a hip hop head. But like Doom was the person who opened my eyes to really playing with syllables and playing with words, and he really pushed the boundaries of what was possible, because like I compliment so many artists on, oh, that was a nice 3-syllable rhyme pattern, and oh, he had a nice rhyme at the end of his bar and a witty end rhyme, and he's literally rhyming pretty much every single letter right now. This dude's just a master.
Oh, Eric Estrada, fat rat, the mask made him batty as a mad hatter. Known for his absurd word choices, and will ignore you if you ask him if he heard voices. Just keep it on a need to know basis. They knew he was a Negro, so no need to show faces. Back in the days of no laces, on a slow pace, they used to say he might could go places.
Dang, dog, I normally have all this like super analytical, break down every bar, break down every rhyme scheme, but dog, that song just made me happy, bro. That song made me happy. I enjoyed Doom's verse so much, I can't remember what Black Thought talked about. Y'all just gonna have to rewind whatever I said there and extrapolate, make your own conclusions. But that Doom verse was so good, bro. That verse was so good. I don't know when that verse was rapped. It definitely didn't take on the theme of the rest of the album, but man, the rhyme schemes just ridiculous. Even the bar where it wasn't where like every single syllable was rhyming, he still flexed like a 6-syllable. Can't remember what the specific rhyme scheme was, but he had like a 6-syllable rhyme scheme. But the way that he brags, and I don't even know if you can call all of it brags, because sometimes he kind of describing himself as an enigma or a just like strange person, but his descriptiveness, the way he plays with words, yeah, just amazing. That's my favorite song on the album. All this conceptual stuff, and my favorite song is just Doom spitting. This is Auquamarine.
To World War III from the treaty signed in Geneva. The biology teacher said we used to be amoebas. The neighborhood preacher said we emerged from the ether. We converged from urethra and struck gold, Eureka. The morning star Tariqa.
I love that. Talking about all the stuff that we learned in history class. All right, the Geneva Treaty, evolution, we all emerged from amoeba, and then contrasting that with somebody on the street corner talking, what is it, like 5% of knowledge, where we all came from the ether.
My words should be studied up in Berkeley and Juilliard.
Facts.
My bars is hard as solid gold bullion. My name
Facts.
is Quran like the kingdom of Suleiman. Uterus back, protection, lives lack direction. I'm a king, a
Facts.
in God's black complexion. Survival of the fittest is the natural selection now.
I like how that whole verse, he was kind of bragging about how he has purpose behind his lyrics, how his lyrics provoke thought. And that was his brag, as opposed to saying how much he's like better at than everybody rapping, which he is. And I like how he did all this from the perspective of a teacher, or it kind of had like a little spiritual leader type vibe because of how he made the religious references and how everything contrasts to like what we learned in school and history books. That's a tough verse.
Haters and naysayers is buried in cake layers. I take day as a blessing and see the night as a lesson. Twilight is a message for me to write a confession. The mate patiently waiting with the demons we deserve. Better be willing to pay with every dream that you deferred. If the vehicle should swerve, learn to lean into the curve.
That's a slanted 5-syllable right there.
Working up the nerve, almost equal in size. I walked around with the iron for any wrinkle in time. I paid a piece of my mind for every nickel and dime, but never.
I walk around with the iron for every wrinkle in time. That's tough.
A killer crept on your squad, yet never left the garage. Where your God was close enough to see the flesh of his eyes.
Man, I'm thoroughly impressed with how out of the box his production has been from start to finish. That second verse from Black Thought built on the same themes from the first verse, but he did it with incredible rapping, incredible imagery. Everything he says so carefully crafted, and he packs in these phrases that have these underlying meanings to it, or I won't even say underlying meaning, but like this secondary connotation to it, like the I keep the iron out for any wrinkle in time, you know, that's a fire, I just keep a gun type line, but it has that underlying connotation and theme that matches the supernatural theme of the entire verse. Clever writing, man, dope beat. This is Identical Deaths. Baseline is fire.
Affected by clinical tests for living many lives, dying identical deaths. I met the monster on the rooftop of the plaza. The teleprompter said it's still an Oscar to conquer. My witch doctor asked me what's blocking my chakra. I told him it was probably caffeine, chronic, and vodka. I need a word with a sponsor that won't be heard at the concert.
Do y'all hear this beat modulating in the background? I'm trying to pay attention to what Black Thought is saying with Danger Mouse just going crazy in the background.
As I approach the altar, another convert. If you could read my mind, you heed the signs first.
That whole verse felt like this lucid dream where he's having a talk with God, and he said he's dying 2 deaths, one from karma, and then these monsters appear, and the whole thing is like him trying to get into his own mind. I'm assuming a couple of these things, especially like the monster theme, has some kind of double meaning that isn't apparent yet, but regardless, even just taking the verse at surface level for what it is still really impressive. Yo, somebody tell Danger Mouse to chill though, he going crazy. Oh, there's another verse. What? To change the tempo of a song mid-song is absurd in and of itself. I've only heard that done like a couple times. The other one was, off the top of my head, was Kanye on I Meant It. I guess Denzel did it on his album on Walking that came out earlier this year too, but still, that's rare. It's like that production itself is a story. I thought there was another verse, so I pretty much unknowingly talked about that whole song, but just a dynamic song, excellent verse from Black Thought, and this beat that felt like a journey. That was a dope song. This is Strangers with A$AP Rocky and Run the Jewels. I did not have that on my rap bingo card. Who do y'all think is going to be the worst rapper on this song?
I was relocating this whole operation to the top for you to copy and paste in case you forgot. I'm super hot and beyond your range. It's kind of strange how to change. The climate ain't because of climate change. I acquired this.
This nigga's rapping.
So many fuck boys acting like they tough guys. I'ma call you bluff guys. Let me see you uprise.
Little aggressive verse from Black Thought there.
05 close, get your lo-fi smoke. Like the Wi-Fi broke, get the wise guy jokes. Got my
Yo, is this nigga rapping? Is Rocky rapping?
one time when I was ducking from the one time. This one time, weapon on my left side, I'm gunshot. Swimming in my new bins, doors open up like
I like that one time wordplay.
bins. New whips on Dr. Seuss's. One fish, 2 fish, red whip, blue whip.
That's tough. Yo, that's so fire. I didn't know where he was going with that, but that's so fire. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish is a banger too. That nigga was spitting bars. But yeah, that's a fire verse from Rocky. I think he started that thing out crazy with his opening rhyme scheme. He lost a tad bit of steam in the middle of it, but he ended on a high. He shot me, I ain't gonna lie. It's cause I said something at the beginning is why he came so hard. Pause.
With Cyclops eyes, stray stay shadow with live. I win a poltergeist in history, hardly alive.
LP kind of be on this anyway, so it could have been coincidence, but he's on that same like mythological, spiritual theme that Black Thought's been rapping from on the last 2 songs.
You don't ever compromise, out-rat you bastards. Slid into the vacuum, they left stabbing at random. Abracadabra, got these maggots tracking the magic. It's vapid how you speak, not deep, you lacking the fathoms.
This rhyme scheme is crazy. He uses it so frequently, it's hard to even call it like a 3 or a 4 syllable because he's throwing out the rhyme scheme consecutively. He might throw in one word that's not a part of it in between, but yeah, this is tough.
Dreaming of smashing thoughts, a smash Adam.
Are you serious with this? This is what it's come to? We have to walk around
Yo,
outside
he be rapping,
like
dog.
fucking gangsters?
I'm out with linen and writing in red ink again. And I'm on linen with women pleasuring pink again. Edge of destruction, the world seems on the brink again. You think you got me, a poppy, you better think again.
Even just the pleasure in pink again bar. These dudes really just wizards with their wording.
You shot in the seat that they sat Lincoln in. I pop you with the same pistol they pop Reagan with. I'm audacious, so fuck with me on a cash basis. I'm outrageous, slap faces to tongue tasters.
Bro, that's a really fun song. Mostly just braggadocio from all four people on their verses, but they all brought it. The beat was eclectic. That sounds like something that LP would make. He definitely found comfortable. I think he had the best verse on the song. I thought Black Thought had the second best verse. Killer Mike had the third best verse. Rocky had a fourth best verse, but like, yo, he was punching above his weight on that one. Like, he is not supposed to feel at home rapping with these three rappers. All of these guys, LP, Killer Mike, Black Thought, they're all in my top 25 rappers all time. And A$AP Rocky went bar for bar with them. You know, they did this together. He might have had that redfish, bluefish line, and everybody was like, no, you might want to word it like this. You might want to, oh, you can do it like this. So he might have had a little mentorship in there. I ain't really heard him rap like that. He be rapping now, but I ain't heard him rap like that. But yeah, tough song, man. This is close to famous.
Don't even worry about it. My legendary styling between Harry Belafonte and Harry Allen. I'm from a city where it's violent and it's overcrowded. I put it on the map. Y'all ain't even know about it.
Black Thought definitely put Philly rap on the map, but who didn't know that Philly existed?
Guys, you supposed to blame us, but nowadays everybody close to famous.
It's a tough four-syllable line.
Silence in the wind like an allergen. Y'all motherfuckers can forget about challenging.
All right, that's a tough song, man. Danger Mouse is just refusing to stay in any type of box. Just the production's been so different, so much variety throughout the entire album. I love those organs. This was another dope bass line, and I like those trippy little vocals that crept in every other bar or so. Black Thought's rapping here was dope. I will say, you know, he's kind of giving us 10 out of 10 rapping, and this is 8 out of 10 rapping. Like, still really, really good, but I ain't gonna front like it's the same as most of his other verses. But like, all braggadocio on this verse, and in kind of the other verses, he had the same level or better rhyme schemes, and he was mixing it in with content or some a little bit heavier punches, but still a really good verse from Black Thought regardless. The cleverness of how he brags is on full display, and the way he can manipulate words and phrases on full display. So, good song. This is Saltwater with Conway the Machine. Danger Mouse, bro. No. Bro, you are wildin'. Bro, you are wildin'.
You're so cliche, you're the nouveau reach to come up hard as a youth and new no peach. You hit that lick, you switch to a new motif in a whip with 2 low seats and new gold teeth.
That 2 no seats rhyme scheme is crazy, and then the lick whip in rhymes in the middle of it.
You never learned math in school. You cut class so you can't count what's in the clip. You just blast.
That's fire.
Just buffering.
That's
and all
fire.
you trying to see is some place with less suffering.
The see less place is fire. Like the spinning place, and then the place money theme, double entendre. Come on, man.
The last thing you do is bullshitter. The streets is a bitch. You up in the club with her. You should cease and desist. But you too in love with her. Yeah.
No. Keep going. This is fire. I'm curious to see how Conway's gonna play out this, because his whole style is based on that street lifestyle that Black Thought just spent his verse kind of condemning.
Pass the baton like a drum major at Howard. We transfer the power for salt, water, and flour.
The path of a time like a drum major at Howard is fire.
In bad business and make a man religious. I'm the difference in Fred Sanford and Sanford Biggers. Save the revelry if you trying a lower level.
Difference in Red, Sanford and Sanford Biggers. That might be a really, really tough bar. I might be reaching. That could be a crazy entendre. So the line before, he was talking about doing bad business, and he said, I'm the difference in Red, Sanford and Sanford Biggers. Like, that's obviously Red Fox and Sanford and Son, the difference in Red. And then Sanford Biggers, he's an artist who used a whole bunch of red in his art. And then difference in red, so like if you're in the red, that means you losing money. If you're in the black, that means you gaining money in a business. So he's saying he's the difference in red, so like he's not doing bad business. I could be reaching, I think that's where he's going with that, and if so, that is tough.
In the morning, lurking in that Pontiac. Where I'm from, you gotta take your pole even when you go to the laundromat. Keep it on, niggas try to line me, but I
Low key, if there's a laundromat there, you're not in a safe area. You probably need that strap.
tried to run 3 or 4 shots, hit him beside his back. And And that go for anybody that rap. That Buffalo nigga that catch the bodies back. Hold up, rewind me back. They heard me rhyming, they wanna know where to find.
I like how he rewinded the beat when he did that. But yeah, that first rhyme scheme that he had, he took it for like 8 bars. Tough. Imagery so far, tough.
The grimy cat from the Main Street trenches, insomniac. 3 in the morning, catch me inside the trap.
Yo, he really rewinded it.
Right by the door with a Mac 90 at. After the deal, the label still wanna sign me back. The contract worth a few mil, but I ain't signing that.
I've been waiting on this collab. The other two people of Conway's group, Benny the Butcher has the song with Black Thought on Plugs I Met, and Westside Gunn has the song with Black Thought on Who Made the Sunshine, but I don't think Black Thought has any other song where they're both on. But yeah, that was tough, man. Black Thought came with 2 great verses. I thought the first one was the best verse out of his 2 verses. Really witty critique on that street lifestyle and really getting stuck in the street lifestyle, right? Not transitioning out of what I think a lot of people are going to agree with. Second verse was tough too, though. I really like that Sanford and Sanford Biggers line. And then Conway's verse was fire. He stuck to just 2 different rhyme schemes and they were fire. His imagery was dope. Storytelling, all that. Grimy bars, grimy beat. All right, this is Violas and Lupitas. I just noticed the song title. This finna make Dr. Umar proud. These strings are so tough.
Hey yo, juke joint party lights lit the Harlem Nights. Peas and rice made a Judas out of Garveyites. Mommies in the heights always call me nice. Someone all his life rolling dice that was dirtier than gaudy ice.
Bro, I did not expect this beat to take me here, but this rhyme scheme to open the song is insane.
Y'all knew not to sleep on me like Don Quixote. Since the glory days like Springsteen, I've been clean. Any garment on me, that thing mean. My inseam 32. Get it, the king? You're not worthy to the level.
Nah, his inseam ain't no 32, dog.
Musakita tossed to carry on luggage to the breed of my black skin. Somewhere between Violas and Lupita, go ask them about the gate.
Me too.
World leader, kill shit quicker than Usain could run 100 meter.
Alright, I rock with it. He just made the business decision. I'm finna just snap on the last song. I'm just finna go. Yeah, more braggadocio. And this was just kind of unadulterated braggadocio. He did kind of touch on those black themes that's been running through, but the most obvious one was my skin somewhere between the Violas and Lupitas. But yeah, he just went, man. Amazing rhyme schemes, amazing flows, slick brags. And this was an extremely good album. Like, this is album of the year contender type album. The production was amazing from start to finish. It was really dynamic, multiple different modulations within a couple of different tracks. The sound sourcing and the instruments had a lot of variety from track to track. I love that soul influence, especially on the earlier songs on the album. And the rapping was amazing from Black Thought. The technical rapping from start to finish was amazing. A lot of intricacies in the different rhyme patterns. The content was there, especially on that first half of the album where he really leaned into those themes of being from the bottom, making it to the top, systemic racism and systemic obstacles. Then even when he was just in his braggadocio brag, the level of the brags was really, really high. Wordplay was crafty throughout, and then all the features came with it, in my opinion. I mean, I feel like it's splitting hairs on which one was the best feature, but I gotta lean towards that Doom feature, and I thought LP's verse was also extremely, extremely good. My only knock for this album is kind of nitpicky, but I thought the cheat code theme of this album of people using cheat codes, hustling, street lifestyle in order to navigate some of the obstacles put in front of them was a really creative theme that had a lot of potential, and he kind of just abandoned it like midway through the album. Look, every album doesn't have to be conceptual, but it was a really creative concept and it probably could have been fleshed out a little bit more. But other than that, man, excellent rapping, excellent production, album of the year contender, and this is why Black Thought is going to save us from the aliens.